Hello guys, this is Planners again, and for today's episode I'd like to share with you a couple stories concerning the Talos. It is really no news that the Talos is a great ship for small gang PvP, and assault battlecruisers were, in my opinion, a very good addition to the game because not only they are very powerful, but they can also be very vulnerable. So they have a great dynamic there, and they are interesting to fly both with them and against them. Okay, for the first engagement, I am flying a pretty much standard shield Talos, a couple shield extenders, point guns with null to guide and to shoot at range. And at the same time, inside FQQ, I'm actually harassing a couple of Care Bears on my other toon, and my other toon is flying a frigate, an Imperial Navy Slicer. After some time, 15 minutes or so, I was able to draw the attentions for two fleet stabbers, Harpy and the Republic fleet Firetail. So I got those four ships trying to kill my frigate. Of course, the plan here is to use some deception. Draw them, split them up, get some tackle with the Slicer, although it's not the best ship. Slicer is more a solo ship. Hopefully one day I'll make an episode on it. But the idea was to get somebody separated with the Slicer and then use the Talos to pawn it. I was actually able to finally tackle Lone's fleet stabber with my Slicer, and I decided it was time to bring backup. So for starters, nothing special. Jump in, warp, get tackle and start applying damage. At this point I'm actually thinking it is a armor fleet stabber, but then suddenly it starts to wrap up, so it's one of those ancillary fleet stabbers. The fleet stabber also gains some velocity, 700 meters per second. Although it is not going towards me, it's trying to go away from me. I need to keep applying damage. I'm not too worried. The Harpy could be a problem, but right now the Harpy is far away and another fleet stabber lands. I do not want to be close to the fleet stabber that just arrived. I don't know if it's armor or shield, so I start burning away from the new stabber that is close to me, and at the same time I go towards the stabber I am trying to kill. It's reaching hull, so it's going to die soon enough and it's probably out of charges. But right here I make a big mistake. I had forgotten I had approached the fleet stabber I was trying to kill. I thought I was like aligning the sun and my ship turns. This is a fatal mistake because I lost all the speed, all the momentum. On top of that, I failed to overload that very first cycle of micro drive in order to try to bail, and I'm pointed. It's a long point because my micro drive is working, but I'm also webbed and it's cutting down my speed a lot. I actually think I'm dual webbed because I'm going ridiculously slow considering I am overloading, and my really other option is to load close range ammo and hope for the ECM drones to work and save me. Go ECM, go ECM, go ECM, go ECM, go ECM, bail out, bail out, bail out. And the Harpy has just warped on top of me. Okay, well, the Harpy just got a scram and wipe on me too, so even if my ECM drones work on the stabber, there is absolutely no way I can bail out, and boom! Ha! I bet you guys thought you were gonna see my pod. Well, you won't. Still, you get to see the explosion of my Talos. Also pretty. Looking back on the fight, this is pretty much the most important part, my fatal mistake. You can see the Talos starting to turn around, my speed is nearly zero, And if you see the second fleet stabber, the one that is further away, moving at 1500 meters per second, that is not good news. Um, if the both stabbers were just like shield stabbers, I would have been fine because they would long point me, and I don't really have any problems with long points. But long point and a couple webs, yeah, that will bring a Talos down. For the second engagement, I face Talos, even though I knew from the start that I was not in the proper tool, or I knew I had not the proper fitting for it. Nevertheless, I decided to give it a shot. Okay, so on this scenario, I just jumped through a gate. I was following a Talos. I am myself on a triple rep fleet stabber. I know it's something not very usual. Usually you see dual reps and dual prop fleet stabbers. For some reason I had this one triple rep. Don't ask me why. Anyway, it's what I had. I do have a scram on it, so I am hoping that once I get the scram on a Talos, if I ever manage to, I can just orbit it at close range and he will be unable to track me and then kill him. Also, an important piece of intel is that I had already faced this guy in the previous system and I knew he had not ECM drones, he had warriors. This is extremely important because if you get a scram on a Talos and he manages to jam you, even worse than just warping off is gaining up speed and bliping you at range. Okay, so there is a Talos on the gate. Well, I'm gonna burn at him, see what happens. I decloak, start micro driving towards the gate, and he also picks up speed, so he really wants to try and engage me, but he's going towards me. Alright, this is working perfectly. He's really not hitting me for much. The drones are out, not a big deal. I need to activate my damage control and my reps, of course. And okay, arm orbiting, he's failing, I'm able to rep, all cool. But here is where it starts to go wrong. You can see the Talos, he's moving 260 meters per second, and so am I, more or less. Also, he's starting to move away from me, and I'm losing completely all my transversal. Right here my instinct told me to press the micro drive one time, but I thought, I'll just wait for structure. Oh, oof. There was really no structure warning, and I should have pulsed the micro drive one cycle in order to gain my transversal up, even though it would increase my SIG radius. But yeah, trying to orbit the Talos without a web or without an afterburner, it's also not a good idea. The frustrating part on this engagement was that the hard part is really to get a scram on a Talos, but once you do, usually it's easy. But then again, you still need some sort of weight in order to keep your transversal high enough. Those guns will burn you if you're not careful. Interestingly enough, now comes into play an important part of the Assault Battlecruiser's dynamic. This guy was camping the system and this gate for some time, and well, I wanted a payback. Therefore, I returned, but instead of shipping up, I decided to ship down. In fact, my ship of choice was the trusty Harpy, and it was really nothing fancy. I just warped back to the same system, warped down on a gate, micro drive towards the Talos, orbited him, scrammed him, and then proceeded to kill him. It was actually pretty easy once I had the proper tool. For the third engagement, I am again the captain of a Talos, but this time I decided to bring something a bit different, and it is a armored Talos. The armored Talos is actually magnificent. The simple fact that nobody expects an armored Talos is a huge advantage in bait situations. I have had every sort of ships trying to get under the guns, from Cynabals to Drakes. They think they're gonna be fine if they can scram the Talos, only to be surprised that the Talos itself has two webs and a scram and still lots of firepower, as well as a great buffer tank. Actually, 90% of the times I don't really have to chase nobody because they come at you and they try to orbit you thinking they will be safe. This is pretty amazing. Saves you a lot of trouble too. So okay, a quick word on the fit. Fit is pretty straightforward. Big guns, 1600 plates, some resistances. This situation I had two mag stabs. You could put more resistances or more damage as you like. Scram and two webs. And basically that's it. As for the engagement, I actually had pleners roaming around and I saw Myrmidon and her prophecy camping a bubble in Doral, and I decided to bring a couple mates to pawn these guys. I could really not engage with the arbitrators, so I decided to bring a Talos. The great thing on the armor Talos is you can warp straight to the bubble and not being worried about being tackled by the opponent forces. On a shield Talos, you gotta go probably to a tactical or to celestial and then warp, and then see if there is a nearby rack you can warp to its range so that you are in kiting mode and all that stuff. Armor Talos, don't care about that. Let's go to the bubble. So okay, I landed right next to the Myrmidon. The tracking on the armor towers still sucks a bit, so some range is needed. I like to put myself at 5k from the opponent if I can, and against an active tank ship, the Assault Battlecruiser, the sheer alpha, the sheer damage from an attack battlecruiser is also the best counter you can probably have these days. Probably even better than newts. Anyway, the Myrmidon is trying to hang on. My armor is going 50%, but that's okay. We actually have some more guys incoming. I just want to finish off the Myrmidon quick and get a hold on the prophecy. Remote reps will be landing soon. Okay, trying to tackle the prophecy, and he's not gonna hold much either, even if he's ancillary fitted. Oh, hang on. Is that a Sino field on the overview? Oh, Spike. Oh, yeah. That's a Sino. Oh, come on, really? This is gonna suck big time. I actually tried to find a Celestial or something to warp off, but my overview just clutters up with ships coming from the Sino. I don't even have a good warp position. I think I'm inside a bubble. I activated the overload on the micro drive, but I think I forgot to activate the micro drive itself. It's really not a good idea when you try to bail out, but yeah, not gonna make a big difference. Unfortunately, the armor Talos, as great as it is, cannot withstand this kind of damage. So yeah. I don't really know why they lost the Myrmidon there. They could have lightened up the Sino earlier, I suppose, and not lose the Myrmidon. I suppose they were also somewhat surprised by the damage coming from Talos. No idea there, just speculating. Still, this was a great opportunity to show you guys a good role for an armor Talos, and at the same time the perils of 0-0. You never know when the candle is going to light up. Okay, finally, for the final engagement, I bring back the Shield Talos again, and this was actually during my lunch break or something like that. Only me, Sigma and Bull were alive on the corp, and they spotted a gang, Rapier, Vagabond, Cynabal, Moa, so 4 guys, and I brought a Talos, Bull brought a Hurricane, and Sigma decided to bring one of the new fleet side issues. Okay, the enemy gang is burning to the gate, they're not even locking us, or they're not locking me, so I don't really think they want to engage here. Um, Bull actually starts to aggress the Rapier, but yeah, they're already all zero on the gate. I'm not aggressed. I think I'm the only one not aggressed here, and I jump out to see what's developing on the other side. I have to be careful though. I do not want to give these guys the opportunity to kill me solo on the other side. Okay, on the other side, Mower, Rapier, Cynabal. I hold my cloak a bit, see if they warp off, see if they reapproach. Okay, they're warping off. I'm gonna try to catch something. There's a Vagabond. I'm going for the Vagabond. Moa is already on the gate, so the hell with that. They start to target me, but well, they're not aggressing. That's good, I think. I don't want to be at scram range on a Boa anyway, so I decided to make some range on the Vagabond. The initial instinct was to approach the gate, but let's just make some range. Vagabond zero on the gate. Let's put some pressure on him and force him to jump through into Sigma and into Ball. There's a bubble there, so if he tries to burn away, we might kill him inside KQ. Right now the Moa is doing nothing, so just sitting there. Let's see what develops. Okay, Dumo warped off, and the Vagabond jumped back into Sigma and Bull, so we're managing to split them up. Let's reapproach gate. A few seconds after, the Vagabond was able to burn back to the gate again. I'm gonna try to point him. Okay, nice, I target him. Oh, I hate when this happens. Sometimes the mods don't activate, or better, it takes a split second for the mods to activate. Anyway, I saw where he warped to. Well, let's follow. At this time, my corp mates are aggroed on the other side, so I'm going out solo. I need to be careful if he tries to burn. When I finally reached the celestial beacon they warped at, they were all at range. Okay, right now I'm not doing anything, just trying to figure out what to do. Okay, they're warping in. I'm starting to call my mates to warp to me because these guys are going to engage. And Rapier, okay, Rapier right on top of me. Okay, this is not good. And I'm actually being scrammed by the Rapier. When I try to activate my micro drive, it does not work. As for my guns, I know that the Vagabond is in deep shield, so I wait until I can finally target the Vagabond and I can finally put some guns on him. And the drones need to go for the Rapier. Unfortunately, I mess up the point. I hovered my mouse over the Vagabond several times, but I did not click properly and I ended up pointing the wrong target. The Vagabond warped off. Not only that, the freaking ECM drones are jamming me, so pretty much nothing I can do. My corp mates have arrived, but unfortunately I cannot help them, not below 50% structure, and I need to bail out. Incidentally, it seems that the enemy gang also decided to bail out, only the Rapier is on the field, but he ends up jamming also my corp mate and warping off. Okay, I really do not know why this gang decided to warp off, because they had managed to pretty much neutralize me. I was nearly dead. If they had committed a bit more, they could have killed me easily. And Bull and Sigma were only on a Hurricane and a Fleet Scythe. Even considering that the Vagabond had warped off, I think they had enough firepower and even electronic warfare, because I was jammed, Bull was jammed, so I think they were really trying to be too safe here. I don't know. Okay guys, nevertheless, the reason I'm also showing this engagement is because even though nobody died, we failed to kill everybody, or me especially, because I failed to point the Vagabond due to interface mistake, let's call it like that, or if you prefer to call it too much adrenaline and too little attention. But we failed to kill anybody, they failed to kill anybody, but it was a very intense, very fun fight, and even there were no kill mails generated, it was totally worth it. Okay guys, it's all for this episode. I really wanted to show you how the Talos can perform both shield, armor, how you can face a Talos, or what you should not do when facing a Talos more properly. And the engagements I had were funny for me, I just wanted to share them with you. I hope you can also find some use on it. So, till next time, and have some good holidays.